Hi, welcome back to another series of SWAT updates. Today we are going to be taking a look at jailbreaking an Apple iPad. We're going to be using a Windows system just to keep the changes going. We used a Mac the last time, so we'll use a Windows system this time. But bear in mind that this program that we're going to be using, called Spirit, you can see the website link in front of you. You can use it on a Windows, Mac OS, or a Linux system. So I want to just quickly say a few shout out thanks to our sponsors. Without them it wouldn't be possible for us to put these series of sessions of excellent latest updates and tools together. So thanks to all of those folks. And a quick news update before we jump into our jailbreaking. You can join us at the Hacker Halted coming up October 9th in Miami, Florida. And you'll find that session has a huge amount of updates from the leading professionals in the security industry all over the world. And you can join myself for one of the classes that we're going to be running there, the Deep Dive SWAT Bootcamp. So we're going to be giving you a whole bunch of updates on all the latest, greatest tools and techniques. So without any further delays, let's jump into getting our jailbreaking on the road. Now first off, I want to mention that this is something that you're going to be doing at your own risk. It is a very low risk procedure with the tool that we're going to be using, but bear in mind you could brick your device. So whether you're using an iPhone or an iPad or an iTouch, whatever you're going to be touching, remember the key word there is iTouch, iPad. You are doing this at your own risk. Alrighty. So we're going to start off with looking at the fundamentals of iOS jailbreaking. So first of all, iOS simply stands for your Internetwork OS, your operating system. And it's simply the process that's going to allow your iPads, iPhones, iPod touches, the ability to run third-party unsigned programs or code. So what ends up happening is you typically go along to your app store, and with jailbreaking it, the idea is that you're going to go along, open up the back door, and also add your own installer for other applications such as Cydia. And jailbreaking is very distinct from the SIM unlocking, which obviously once completed would mean that the mobile phone would then accept any SIM without any specific restrictions on any of the mobile phone networks. So what we've just really spoken about is just the iOS fundamentals. We'll put some of these links up at the end of the video. So we're now looking at Spirit. Spirit, remember, is a free program, and we did give you that link of the Spirit website, which will refresh your memory in a few seconds if you haven't. But really it's very simple, runs on your Windows or Apple Macs. We did an Apple Mac system last time, so we figured we'll give the Windows a bit of showtime. And basically I've downloaded Spirit, I've connected my iPad. Remember, the iOS version 4 is not supported yet for the iPad, and also take note the first generation iPhones are not supported to actually run iOS 4. So what we want to now simply do is go along to click on the jailbreak button, and you'll see I've set up another camera to see what actually happens on the actual iPad. It reboots, there's your little logo popping up, and we'll see it flash in a few seconds with some cool funky images on the screen. But this is as difficult as jailbreaking your iPad or your iPhone is. As you'll see in a few seconds, the actual screen on your iPad or your iPhone, nothing really happens or changes, except that you'll get this little icon, as you'll see in a few moments, called Cydia, where we can then go along and actually install some of the additional applications. So that is the very simple, straightforward jailbreak. I'm going to just flip over to the end now of my apps, and the first thing you want to do is click on the Cydia so that it can actually load the data and update it. If there are any updates, as you can see, it's going through and it's downloading the updates. And there's a little note there that says make my life easier. This is very, very important. It's stipulating the ECID number on the top left there, and Apple uses that identifier in a software verification process. So iTunes sends that to Apple. Apple grants access to that device for the current firmware build. So in this instance, I may want to make my life a lot easier. First of all, I'm going to choose a complete upgrade of Cydia. I'll confirm that, and that will go ahead and install the Cydia update from its repository. And it's going to ask you to reload Cydia. So close and restart. And at this point, I'm now going to flip over to changing my camera. That means I'm going to be able to watch what I'm doing on the actual iPad on my computer screen, because this is otherwise going to be a little bit obscure. It's not going to be great quality. So a couple of other pointers that I wanted to mention quick before we switch over to the next section of this is the obvious Apple loses the bid to criminalize iPhone jailbreaking. Federal ruling says jailbreaking innocuous at worst, beneficial at best. So, you know, at the end of the day, you are all going to see what are some of the reasons, the positive sides of doing a jailbreak, and what other applications would be very, very handy and useful for making our devices far more productive. And as you've just seen, it now doesn't take a lot to go through a jailbreak like the older jailbreak programs used to. You need to know a lot more. This is another very important article. As you can see, the latest version of software that allows iPhone 4 and iOS 4 users to install applications not approved by Apple. It's basically been released days after the announcement from the US copyright law, and it's called Jailbreak Me. What's so powerful about this is you just go along to the website and you click on the jailbreakme.com. Make sure that you have at least Apple iPhone iOS 4. I think it's 401 it would work from. Yeah, so don't update past the 401. And this just basically runs on your actual device. So there's actually been quite a few pictures of people going into the iPhone stores and going to the jailbreakme.com and having their device jailbroken. Now, what I do want to mention here, folks, is the jailbreaking behind this. Jailbreaking is a way, as you've already realized, to open up the door that you can then control other aspects of the system, such as the application repository. However, you do want to be very, very scared of the fact that when these types of otherwise known as exploits come out, this is one of the very well-known researchers that basically said exploits sweet and scary, says the researcher, because this is a very, very popular technique. It's perfect for drive-by attacks that will actually hijack unsuspecting iPhones and iPads, and they may not actually be aware that their device is being used for criminal purposes. So definitely check out the information from Computer World and Charlie Miller. Great information there, folks. Right, folks, so we back with our iPad up on the screen. I will give you a bit of a rundown of the applications that I've already installed on my device. The ones that we're going to be looking at are the ones predominantly that we installed using Cydia. And other than that, well, I won't talk about the ones that are on the App Store. So hopefully you can see my mouse pointer going all over the place, and the screen resolution should be good enough for you to see my icons. And basically, we're now just going to go along, open up Cydia, and we're going to take you through some of the fundamental steps that you need to make sure you configure and set up on your system whether you're going to use the system for penetration testing, or whether you're going to use it for ethical hacking, or if you're just a normal productive type of person that likes technology and productivity is your aim. And as you can see there, it's come up by saying this device has SHSH on file for iPhone OS and iOS 3.2.1.